Well, good morning. Thanks for being here. I'm Suzanne Moss. I'm the president and executive director of Mass Hort and the Gardens at Elm Bank.
All right, and so this is your first year doing this, correct?
This is my first month doing this, so I am new, and it is my first time that I've been to this event, and it has been fascinating to see. This is a totally volunteer effort that puts this together. They've been doing it for 10 years, so this is our 10th anniversary. So I'm very excited to be here at this moment. We introduced a few new things this year besides the 70 trees that you're going to take a look at and the Snow Village, but there's a new gatehouse to improve the whole operations, so there's no more waiting in lines. So the guest experience itself has improved this year, and we're really excited about that.
All right, so what was your background? How did you come to work for Mass Hort?
I serve as interim executive director or president at nonprofits at a time of leadership transition. The past long-term director of Mass Hort has stepped down, and I filled the role until we go through the search and hire the next one. It usually takes 6 months to 10 months to do that, so I am here for that period of time, keeping up the momentum of the organization, working to meet the strategic plan, to implement the new master plan, complete that process, and move forward with that. So there's a whole range of things. And first up is Festival of Trees, ensuring that it happens exactly as the people in this area have come to expect. It's been really, so interesting. When I was here this weekend, I was working out front greeting people and making sure they knew where they were going. And there were so many people who were here who were clearly, this was a family tradition. It was really nifty to see, that people were coming year after year. And then I would ask other people that clearly didn't look like they necessarily knew where they were going, and I'd say, have you been here before? And welcome them. And so many new people that have just learned about it word of mouth and or perhaps on cable.
Yes.
and are coming to see what it's all about. So that was fun to see the growing popularity of the event.
All right, and so what's your favorite thing about Mass Hort and this event?
My favorite thing about Mass Hort is the staff. I'll probably say in the spring, the gardens, but right now it is the staff. They are they just all work as a team. They pull together with the volunteer support. There's a large amount of public gardens in this country are supported by volunteers who help with everything from planting and weeding the gardens, not just here, but in multiple botanical gardens, to organizing such events. This was, as I said, truly put together by a loyal team of volunteers 10 years ago, developed this, and it just continues to grow. And now it's become an organizational event that we have embraced it, and everybody, the staff and volunteers together, work together as a team.
Yeah, and so, this is the largest fundraiser for Mass Hort, I believe?
It is, thank you. It is, and so each of these trees that you'll see are going to be raffled off. So people come, general public, families, and they vote for their favorite tree with their raffle tickets, and on the 9th, which is the last day of the festival, we'll draw the raffle for each of the trees. And you get everything that's on the tree, all the decorations, and everything that's under the tree and along with the tree if you win the raffle. So that's pretty fun.
Okay, and then you just sort of contact people by phone and they come by and pick it up?
We do. They're contacted that day by phone. All the rules are explained to everybody when they're here, that we call you on the 9th and that you need to answer the phone on the 9th. So there won't be callbacks. That's one of the key things. They give them 2 phone numbers and so that we can reach you and you can come pick up.
Right. And then also there's the Giving Tree, which is a slightly different raffle, correct?
Yeah, it is. There are 3 giving trees down at the end of the room, and those are put together also by volunteers and contributors, and they're filled with gift cards to different specialty things, and we can take a look at those perhaps. And so those you're getting not just the decorations, but those are really have a value, and the values are predicted, at each sign for the tree lists everything that's in it or hanging on it that will come to you if you win that tree. And so that's a little different raffle, and that's kept separately, but that's also drawn the same day. So admission to the whole event, because it's not just inside here in the Honeywell, which was the start of this whole process, is the Festival of Trees, but we also have Snow Village. There are also wagon rides. There are Santa's here. There's activities for children. So on the beautiful days, it was really gorgeous here on Saturday, and a lot of people just walking through the gardens. The gardens are decorated, and so for your admission, you have access to all of that.
Right. So why don't we talk a little bit about the Snow Village? How did that come together?
Well, Bill Maher, so if you've been here before, if folks have been here before, the Snow Village is incredible. Bill Maher contributed it to Mass Hort so that more than just he and his wife and family could view it. He's been collecting the Snow Village housing, all the little figures, all of the moving components, amusement parks, mountains, Santa, are all part of this. He's been collecting that for 20 years and contributed to us, and he runs it for us, sets it up. And there's just so much to see. Like, on the way out, somebody told me, "Did you see Downton Abbey?" And I said, "Downton Abbey?" They said, "Yes, there's a Downton Abbey component on the setup." So it's just this wide range of visual, just moving parts and delightful things with trains running through all of it in a snow village.
And then, so here, what's your favorite tree that people have donated?
Well, I have to say, this is the one right here is the most fun to look at. This is the engineering tree, and put together by one of our volunteers she herself is an engineer, and it's all filled with toys that are all science-based, engineering-based. And I say this is where the most activity is, when we're open to the public and the kids are here. It is fascinating. So to me, it just really engages people and young kids with science and engineering. So that's fun. And then I have to say, there's a bicycle down here on the end that is in itself a tree, which I personally like. And then over here, there is a dollhouse that has, on the front looks like a red dollhouse, and you go around the other side, and it's filled with Christmas things. It's the night before Christmas. Santa is there filling the stockings, and the kids are upstairs on the beds, bouncing on the beds. There are little suspended children up and down on the beds. So I really like that one too.
No, that's great. And maybe this is a good time to talk about how these trees are put together as well, because I know that at sometimes the people donating them put together, and sometimes they enlist the help of volunteers.
That's all true. So individuals, so people love to do this. They do it year after year. They come up with a theme for their tree. They contribute the tree. They bring all their decorations with them. They show up here on, 2 different days before the festival opens, and it's like fascinating. Everybody's in here decorating, standing back, admiring, looking at it, asking, "What do you think? This over here," and decorate their trees. And then they put more things around the bottom. There's gifts and things around the bottom. So that's the ones who do it themselves. And then others say, "Yes, we'll contribute this," and they, contribute the tree, and then the thing. And then there are people who have been doing that for years here as volunteers, and they have the fun of decorating several of the trees as well. And then, of course, we have different trees around the property that we also have decorated out on the grounds and in the other building, in the education building, just to make it festive.
And I guess also just maybe a brief overview of Mass Hort and everything that they do the rest of the year as well.
Oh, thank you. Mass Horticultural Society, I've known for years. They are the oldest, the first horticultural society in this country, a long and proud history of offering to the public a connection to horticulture. So it used to be that there'd be a horticultural hall a place where people would bring in, like we do now, flower shows, but it would be based on fruits and vegetables and the agrarian community, which of course this country grew from, and they bring in their prize vegetables and they share and educate people about how to grow. So that's the history that Mass Hort came from, and that we continue. Our role is education. Our focus is on the public, on the homeowner, or the gardener, whether you're in a home or you're an apartment or you're in a community garden. It's how do things grow? How do we connect each other to the land, to food, to plants? I mean, plants are the air we breathe and the food we eat. So how do we connect people to that? So that's the history. So during the year, there's courses, even though the gardens are closed and put to bed for the winter, there's courses year-round. So you can go online at masshort.org and you can read about the courses that are continually being offered. There's Master Gardeners program where we train people to be master gardeners. The gardens will open again to the public in April. And of course, then you have the fascinating children's garden that's very engaging, the trial gardens that we work for others in this country to trial different new seeds, how they grow, and educational programs throughout the summer as well, hands-on growing, teaching people.
Yeah, and that attracts people of all ages?
Definitely. Well, the children's garden, yeah. Although I'd have to say the children's garden is enjoyed just as much by people my age, whether you're with grandchildren or not. It's really engaging. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's about it, unless you want anything to add. Obviously, you mentioned the website where people can get more information.
Masshort.org, yes.
Yep. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.